Hey guys, Original Boris here. Gonna do a review on a documentary that I just watched on Netflix. This is G.L.O.W, as you can see right there. For those of you who do not know what G.L.O.W was, G.L.O.W was an all-female wrestling promotion that started in 1986. This is G.L.O.W, the story of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. It was made in 2012. It's 1 hour, 17 minutes long. It says, this engaging documentary chronicles the 1980s phenomenon, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, which elevated its female stars to star status. Now, G.L.O.W was pretty popular in the later 80s. I remember them. I had completely forgotten about them, for one. I remember watching G.L.O.W, but then it just disappeared, and I was just a kid back then. So, I mean, when they canceled the show, I was only like 11 years old, so I had forgotten about it. But I remember watching it like on when they were on Family Feud versus WCW. I also remember them being on Married with Children, and also Sylvester Stallone's mom and his son were always there. I remember that, but I had forgotten about it because I was just a kid when it was canceled. And then I saw this documentary, watched it, and I have to say, this is a very, very, very good documentary. Now, this has, I don't know if it has all the female wrestlers that were there, but it shows a pretty big chunk of them, and it tells their stories of how they first got started in it. It's more like a sitcom. It wasn't really like a wrestling promotion like a WWE. It was made out to be more like a sitcom or like a Saturday Night Live. They actually talk about how the promotion first got started. Like, I had a dream, so he had some people that he knew in Las Vegas that had money. They were able to have auditions. It wasn't like they went out and they found actual female wrestlers that were wrestling in the indie scene. They actually put out flyers and had women just come in and audition for a wrestling show, just like they would if it was another TV program. And they talk about that, and they talk about how even though it was a show, once the show got started, like they were separated. Females, good girls and bad girls were separated. They weren't allowed to talk to each other. They would get fined. It shows the whole real world behind the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, and it's pretty intense show. It shows talks about the storylines, their characters. I had forgotten some of these characters. Some of these characters are very creative and just wild and crazy ideas. Good storylines that, you know, I can see how the audience back in the 80s would get really, really, really into. This is something that I miss in wrestling, was like these type of storylines. WWE used to have these type of cartoonish storylines also. I kind of miss those days, but you know, wrestling has evolved and become differently. But this just it was reminded me a lot of why I enjoyed wrestling so much as a little kid. It talks about just how successful this company started becoming, and how successful these women started becoming. The backstage politics, like I already said, behind the show, they talk about that, and they talk about how they're out in the streets, and the first time they're recognized, that's when they realize that they're actual stars. They stayed down to earth. They never really realized how big of a stars they were until they actually left Las Vegas and went to other towns, and people would recognize them. Thought that was pretty cool. But it shows them now what has happened to a lot of them, the struggles that some of them have been through. I don't remember all the characters' names, but watching this documentary, it brought back, and I started remembering a little bit about them. It shows what they're doing now, the struggles that have been through, how the show was just abruptly canceled, and the reality of how you can go from having everything one day to nothing the next. I mean, the show was just suddenly canceled. No warning was given, no reason as to why it was given, and the ladies in the show were just told, it's over, go on your merry way, and that's it. There were no benefits behind it. They were just left to start all over, and everything was gone. But it's very, very, this is very good. It's very intense from beginning to end. I was fascinated with this documentary. I could not stop watching it. I really enjoyed the whole thing. And like I said, it is sad what has happened to a lot of them. But they have I don't want to give too much away, but at the end, you know, they do have a little bit of a reunion amongst a bunch of the female wrestlers that were there. And it shows Some of them had not seen each other since the doors closed, and the first time they see each other is on this documentary at the end when they have their little reunion, how emotional that was. But if you are looking for a really, really, really good documentary, I highly recommend this one. And if a lot of you don't know what G.L.O.W is, a lot of you may not remember it. A lot of you weren't even born. I would recommend that you check this out. And I think you'll enjoy it. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll enjoy it. Wrestling's not all about WWE. In the 1980s, early 1990s, I mean, there were promotions popping up left and right. Some of them were successful, some of them weren't. Some of them with G.L.O.W were really successful and then suddenly gone. And this shows a whole another side to the world of wrestling and what can happen, what happens to a lot of stars. And something that a lot of people also don't know, WWE former women's champion Ivory started her career in G.L.O.W back in 1986. So that's a little something that I already knew that fact, but it is something that they bring up here, and I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, there you go. If you have Netflix, go to your documentaries and watch G.L.O.W, the story of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. This is a very, very, very good documentary. Highly recommend it. I think you'll enjoy it if you're a wrestling fan. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe down below. Bye.